Record button, and welcome everybody to the Premier Madden podcast. I am not going to promise that we're going to do a bunch because every time I say we're going to get back into this, we never do. But joining me as always is Anthony. What's up, big bro?
Not much, Finn. What's going on with you?
I'm sitting here. I have Popeye's chicken, the boneless wings right in front of me, spicy boneless. And I just want to say, you probably know because you're from the South, but all these people freaking out about this chicken sandwich. It's just the boneless wings, but on bread. So people are like, oh, the chicken sandwich is out. No, if you like the chicken sandwich, just go get the boneless wings.
They even made a joke online the other day about BYOB, bring your own bun.
Bro.
And, yeah.
It's been this good. It's been this good. But if you were getting, like, the wing and the thigh, like, it's still good, but it wasn't that. Like, if you were getting the tenders or the boneless wings, you already knew, like, it was that.
It's the pickle, though, too, that I heard was – and the whatever the sauce is that they put on it. But
really? I'm not a pickle guy, so I take pickles off anyways.
Man, no. The pickles are where it's at, dude.
I don't do pickles on burgers. I don't do pickles on sandwiches. I just do pickles as pickles. Like, I don't really put them on things. I don't consider it a condiment. I consider it a side. Does that make sense?
They're amazing, dude. You're missing out. You
ever
had like a garlic pickle, like a real pickle, not like a freaking what's that little bird? Vlasic, not a Vlasic pickle, but like a real fucking pickle.
I didn't even know that was a kind of. I don't even know what's going on. I learned about cotton candy grapes, and I've learned about garlic classic pick. I don't even know what pickles they're talking about. But PML introducing me to new food every day. But let's get into
this awful game. I just played a game.
It's not awful. I fucking love this game, man.
See, but you're the type of motherfucker that always gets those animations. Like you sit there and you play with the computer and you rub it in all the right places, so it gives you those animations. But me, I like to take chances. I like to live on the edge. I like to live dangerously. So I get all of the negative animations. Like okay. I literally get a touchdown scored on me every fucking game. It's just a toss-up. Like, this dude doesn't even have a prayer. He's just launching it up. And they get this, like, high-speed, like, animation where they just, like, Julio it every single time. They just, like, they spin around, and they, like, there's, like, this sped-up animation where they zoom up and just catch it and fall onto their backs for fucking, like, a touchdown every time. It's trash, dude. It's horrible. And then I'm like, oh, I got DK Metcalf in my other league. Let me try it once in a while. And it's literally picked every single time.
Really?
Even one where I was like, oh my God, Julio. Dez is DK is wide open. Let me just launch it up to him. And somehow his guy will like speed up and do the same fucking animation, man, and just pluck it.
I will say that I've had a lot of success. But the main leagues that I play in, I'm the Texans, right? So like, let me not speak to like the passing game being amazing when I have Hopkins and
the best one,
and I traded for Taylor Gabriel, so I have like incredible speed and the best wide receiver. So I'll take it with a grain of salt because I just finished a couple days ago my game against Q, the Chargers, and I went 17 for 17 with Matt Stafford, but no touchdown. Like literally, I did not force it. So you got me down. I don't force anything, even though I do have tall receivers. But what I am noticing is if you're trailing with the corner and you press X to swat, you're going to get a DPI. If your safety's out of position and he's running full speed and you try to click on and press Y to intercept, you're going to get mossed. Like, there's just so many things. There's a lot of labbing that people have got to start doing. They got to start pressing A, play the receiver when the ball's in the air. That kind of locks on to the receiver instead of like
Russ.
Sorry about that. I said that in chat the other day, and someone was like, "You mean A?" Yeah. So if you hit X, it'll lock on. It locks on to the receiver, and your guy will run there. Versus if you hit square or triangle, now that's a positioning thing that isn't locked onto the ball or anything like that. So that's why you might end up behind him or whatever. So I noticed, like, I'm very careful for when I'm trying to get picks because I try that with Slay and I got mossed by Mike Williams. Height seems to mean a lot this cycle. So, and I know you're talking about Metcalf, so he's got height. So I can't speak to everything going wrong, but yeah, it does seem like there's a little bit of a struggle on defense to stop tall, dominant receivers, and not even all receivers.
It takes out too much football of a football game. Like They're trying to like that. That seems like something that belongs in arcade mode and even competitive mode. Like, sure, to make it more exciting because you're using it for competitions and tournaments and stuff like that. But like sim mode, like you're taking out an entire drive's worth of football just for these guys to throw up this prayer where the guy's not even open. Like if he was open and he caught it, cool. If he had a step on him and he catches it, cool. But if my guy's in position and I'm timing it well, like I consider myself pretty good at timing the interceptions.
Right.
If I'm timing it well and I'm getting that like sped up like it's not even doesn't even make sense physically. Like it's just that part of the game needs to be taken out. Like those animations need to go because that's just not fun. Like
I don't mind if I'm heavily height, if there's a heavy height mismatch or something like that. I know that they were pretty generous with like the aggressive catch trait because there's also these new traits that are in the game. So it seems what I've seen is like Hawkinson, right? My tight end, he's got all the traits. It seems weird for a tight end to have all the receiving traits, the yak, possession catch, and aggressive catch. So it seems like if you're tall and you have aggressive catch, you kind of play like that. Just like if the guy has the normal big hitter trait that's been in the game for years, it's like they hit stick every time now. So it seems like those tend to matter, and they're a little bit more generous with them. I will say my biggest issue and gripe with the passing defense is it seems like curls, or they'll be right in front of the ball and they won't reach up and hit it or grab it. Especially corners, like they'll be right there, but since they're kind of under it, they just, I don't know. There's been some pretty wonky
you know what, though?
corners.
See, to me, that's not an aggressive play. That's a safe, conservative play. And like I'm all for Madden giving you those safe, conservative plays. It's the aggressive that's how I used to play Madden when I was in middle school, man. Like just throwing it up. Like, and then when we graduated and developed a little bit more football savvy, we used to make fun of the kids that would just throw it up. And now it feels like Madden's actually rewarding you for just throwing it up. And it's like,
really,
what are we doing, man?
I would say let's give it a little bit of time to flesh because in the league that I'm in, my main league, I've noticed that all the guys that are smart at football, like that know the game, are the ones that are in the playoffs. And all the guys that are kind of like how you mentioned, like super aggressive, like let me just chuck it up and make bad decisions, they're throwing, they're throwing tons of interceptions and they're getting themselves in deep water. So that's what I've noticed. So I don't know. It might just be early, and it might be Dak. I don't want to blame too much, but right now you don't have any of the passing traits. You don't have a high-end quarterback, so maybe Dak isn't doing you any favors.
I'm not doing so hot with Russell Wilson in the other league either, but
okay.
I'm putting up points and yardage and stuff, but the interceptions are just like insane, man. Look at this. We're at week 13. I've got 25 picks in this league.
Really? Yeah, I've been low, but once again, like I said, I've had Houston, so let me not judge too much. And also, you have a tough division here. I mean, you've played a Redskins team that's 1-1. You have the Eagles in your division, who's now a really good user. I play him this week. Let's kind of go through some of the matchups that have kind of surprised and shocked, and some of the new guys here. What's your thought on Cookie Boy? He's getting hyped in chat every other day. Somebody's either hating on him, that's Mike and Patriots, or
I play him this week, so that'll be interesting. I'm sure I'll probably lose that game too. And
are you doing any scouting, especially with this Patriots game?
I tend to avoid doing that because I will start to overthink things, and he's not a divisional opponent. Like I'm going to play him once every 4 years or whatever it is. So it's like I'm just going to go out and give it my best and see how I do. Like I said, I'm sure I don't feel like I could, go out and watch his YouTube channel or something and try to scout him that ways. And from what I saw a couple of highlights of his from in the league, and it just like every highlight play I see, man, there's just like some glitchy animation somewhere, and I'm just like, it just frustrates the hell out of me because I told my buddy in a small chat that we have about 2 weeks after this game came out, I was like, he hadn't even bought it yet. I was like, dude, this is either the best Madden that they've ever made or it's the worst one. Like I was like, I can't tell quite yet, but I honest to God feel like this is the worst Madden that I've played. Like
what, dude? I'm like opposite end of the spectrum, dude. I adore this game. Now the metas are a little overpowered. Stretch is a little overpowered. I love this game personally, man. Once again, I think the passing is well done. I think it's fine The trajectories are now a thing. You see now it is really
all
hard.
Of those, all of those improvements, I agree with you, but they're negated by the fact that there's just these. There's a third player playing. Like it's me versus you, and then we've got to worry about the fucking game. Like, what's the game going to decide? Like, why don't we just pull a slot machine and be like, oh, it's first down. Let's see what we get. Oh, a 6-yard pass. Oh, it's third down. Let me see what we get. Oh, a touchdown bomb. Like it honestly feels like
do you feel like so?
Like 40% of what
are you basing your defense around? Are you running a lot of zone? So like the success for me has come from cover zero. Cover zero seems to be a huge meta, and you might want to invest in it. Being having Jones and
See, it's not even my defense getting chewed up. It's just like unfortunate plays happening at like such convenient times. Like I'll literally drive all the way down the field, and all of a sudden my offensive line will just open wide open through the middle, which doesn't typically happen ever in this game. It'll just open up in the middle, and I'll get sacked, fumbled, and recovered for a touchdown. It's like it's that kind of like BS that will happen. Like I've made no plays that should say, hey, let's punish this guy for something. It's like before I even get a chance to do anything or even make a bad read or hold on to the ball too long, something like that will happen that will just like, it's just like, where did that come from? Like that makes no sense. Like I had this guy on his toes, on his heels or whatever, and now all of a sudden he's up. It's a 14-point swing. Like those are the type of things that have been really frustrating me with this Madden, because like the Redskins game, I was dominating. I made a horrible tackle on a long run. The game literally flipped, dude. Like he was all of a sudden getting all this pressure on me. Dak was throwing it right to his guys. Like it's just like, come on, man. Like what are we doing? Like just because I make one bad play because I went for a big hit because I wasn't paying attention, sure. Like yeah, punish me, give him a touchdown on that drive. But like this like momentum swing, man. Like it's just.
I will say there are some big momentum swings. I put up 27 in a fourth quarter. I almost came back in our Super Bowl and won. I don't know how much of it was just like true momentum, just like I'm just making him make bad decisions or this, that, or the third. But I do know, and what I have seen, it's that when one team is down big and they start just passing the football, like going like straight up pass only, it becomes really hard to stop. And I don't know if teams need to just come out and just be pass only pretty much the whole game. I don't know if it's the result of like, oh, I have a lead. I could sit back in zone versus the pressure that you were given before. But I will agree with you there. I think that there's a huge momentum feel, and it feels like sometimes games are out of control. And it's
it's not that they feel that they are out of control. We literally are not controlling the entire trench of the field, and that is how the game ends up being dictated. Like I've got a great offensive line. With the Cowboys, there's no reason for me to be under consistent pressure before I can even before a slant can even get open. There's no reason for that. Like.
Right.
And there's no reason for my guys to feel like they're stuck in mud. There's no reason for the game to take away my top 2 running backs in like 3 consecutive plays and leave me with a 62 overall running back. Like there's no reason for those things to all happen in the same game other than Madden flipping a switch on you. And that to me it's always been there. Like, you can tell me about the tin hats or whatever the fuck it is.
You are Mr. Anthony. I love you to death. You are Mr. Tinfoil Hat, but
it's always been there. And like, you can deny it all you want and think that, you're this amazing Madden player and you know football better than anybody else in the world. This is not for you in particular. It doesn't apply to you, but it is not just for you.
Hey, listen, I'm 2-0 with the Lions. I don't want to hear it from you. Okay, I don't want to hear it from you.
Dude, the Lions were was it this league? No, there was another league. The Lions were in the Super Bowl back-to-back years to start the year last year. Like Matthew Stafford is not that bad of a quarterback in this game, even though he's low rated. And they've got a decent O-line. Like they're not that bad.
Yeah, they're not. I definitely don't consider myself. I thought I'm in a hard division. I'm the worst team in a tough division, yes, but I don't have like a bottom 5 roster. By any means. I have a number 1 corner. I have pass rushers. I have linebackers that I can make up for with the users, so I don't feel bad. But it is tough. I want to give a shout-out a little bit to the Premier League folks. I mean, Minnesota just dropped 56 points in a win versus Green Bay. Obviously, Mole is considered the favorite by most of the power ranking guys. Cookie Boy's good. We talked about him, right? I would say if I'm you, I'm looking for Jakeem Grant. He's got 11 receptions more than anybody else on the team. So it's like 2, 5, 4, 1, 1, and then 15 to Jakeem, and he's got all the yards. So I would say watch some jet sweeps. That's probably what the move is. He's going to use the speed cheese and play good defense, but I think you can – I would just kill him with the run, dude. You have the best offense in terms of running the football. And that armbar ability is insane by Zeke. I don't even know why you're bothering throwing the football, bro.
Because it's what I'm best at. I'm not actually that good at running the ball.
Really?
Yeah,
so all right. So let's talk about that
because it's too easy to shut down.
No, all right. So
easy.
So, do you remember swerve running? Was that like a thing on PlayStation?
Oh yeah, it still is.
Yeah. All right. Just fucking swerve, dude. Just run stretch. Just run stretch.
See, Zeke's not fast enough for that though. That's
he is, dude. He is. I'm doing it. I'm doing it with Carlos Hyde. I'm doing it with Carlos Hyde on people. You have 90 speed. Carlos has 87. Just stretch run people, dude, and just fucking swerve run. Don't fucking juke.
Well, I need to change my playbook too because.
Yeah. What are you in right now?
Kansas City's playbook is just too one-dimensional.
Yeah, that's not so. I believe they're zone, and you're a power run team. So I think that might contribute to.
Oh, we're zone running.
Are you real? I mean, you guys are kind of everything with your O line. I would say you should be in I formation you should be I formation a single back, and that offense is I'd imagine a lot of gun. Yeah, you should 100% be feeding Zeke, and don't get discouraged. And this isn't just for you. This is kind of for everybody. Obviously, everybody's listening to kind of see what they're doing wrong and what they're not doing wrong. Swerve running is back. Stretch running is in right now, just like it was in 18.
And that's one of my favorite running plays, and the Kansas City playbook's got like one.
Yeah, you've got Houston's a good single back I formation playbook. It's got a ton of stretches, a ton of dive, a ton of inside zone and backside weak runs. So I always recommend Houston's playbook. Oakland's a big one that people like. I didn't really get into Oakland playbook. I only do Houston's because I was Houston in that league. So let's talk a little bit more. Mike's balling out with KC.
He better.
He dropped 55 on the Raiders. Now, once again, roster means a lot, especially early. But contender, Mike, or no? I mean, he's put up 35.
Oh, without a doubt, because he's a defensive guy with an offensive team.
Right. He called it himself. He said he's on his way, and I play him week 4, so that's when I think I'm going to get a feel for what Mike's got up his sleeve. I think Mike's got it. Once again, Cookie. No surprise that Gut Fox didn't make it. I watched him stream for like 5 minutes the other day, and he just got bullied by a fullback dive and mutt, and I just knew he wasn't going to be the guy that could cut it in a CFM. Like, this dude literally just ran fullback dive 9 straight times, and he didn't change anything, and he ended up leaving the game. He's like, this is boring. He's like, no, you just can't stop fullback dive, dude. I don't know.
How's that even possible?
Yeah, you just dropped all that money on the game. Why can't you stop fullback dive, dude? He's running the same shit over and over again. You just sit there.
Running the same thing is one thing. Like, there's some plays that you could run over and over again and definitely give people headaches. But fullback dive, I mean,
right?
You should be able to stop that as a middle linebacker. What player was he using? What position was he playing as?
I think this is a mutt game, so he probably had somebody like fucking Jim Brown or something.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I don't play mutt, so I don't.
And that's why, because it's like, kid with mommy's credit card has got a 99 overall team, and you're scraping by with your 82 overall, and you don't understand why you're getting stiff armed like it's Tecmo Bowl.
Right. So let's talk about. I'm gonna give you a team, and you tell me if they're for real or not. I mean, the Browns are sitting at 2-0. Is he for real? 10 win seasons in PML last year. He's the residential troll. Is he for real? Or
I'll say that he's for real in the regular season.
Yeah.
And when the adrenaline starts kicking in, he made a reference to it actually last year about he got like real cold while he was playing. He got like adrenaline like pumping in his body. I mean, he didn't understand why he got like cold. Like, that's a real thing. Like you do get adrenaline. If you take this game this seriously, you do get adrenaline when you're in a high stakes opportunity. And
I've been nervous. I've been
I
nervous
don't.
before a game.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit. Like
I thought about a game all day. Like there was a time where I'm at work and I'm like, fuck, dude, I really
yeah,
gotta
man.
play
Like
this.
we spend way too much time in this game, playing this game, to not take it like to only half-ass it and be like, oh, whatever. I lost the AFC Championship. Whatever. I'm over it. Like, no, it's not like that. It's you're gonna lay it all on the line type of thing. But I think he's just a little too emotional during the games. I remember when we played a couple of times and it felt like he had a chance to beat me. And every time he got within like that one possession, he like couldn't actually like cross that hurdle to like actually take the lead. Like he would throw an interception. He would like crawl back from like 14 down and then he'd be like 3 or something down. And then he would throw an interception and just like self explode. Like,
Deprecate on
yeah.
himself. Yeah.
So
I feel
I'll
like
say his roster alone will get him 10 wins, but
right.
he'll probably be a one and done in the playoffs.
I think from my little experience playing him right when the game came out, which isn't a fair assessment, I think I'm inclined to agree with you. I just think he doesn't put enough mentally into his offensive play calling. And I just feel like he's gonna I think he just feels like he can just rely on like OBJ to be open or Chubb to get the run. Like once we start getting into playoffs and you really got to start thinking like, fuck, I have to set up plays. That's and if anybody hasn't checked out already, you probably haven't because you don't fucking support me. I put out the first episode of the All or Nothing.
Hey, I actually did watch that. So there you go. It was a little bland. Throw some music behind there.
I was just thinking about it.
Music too. So throw your own damn music. Turn it down. Turn the volume level of the music down a little bit.
It's a learning process. I think I didn't like how long I did the intro, the game plan intro.
That was a little long too. Yeah,
it was long. I remember going back and I was like, God damn, that was like a full minute. I think some of the people like Niners and Mike, they came back and they said they really liked it and the breakdown piece. But yeah, I think I could have. And that's the downside. I rag on Natural a bit because whenever we would do those Super Bowl things, he likes scripting everything. He really likes scripting all the words he's going to say. And I'm just like, we're fucking doing it live. Like, wing it. We got it. And I'll figure it out on the fly. And that's the issue is I'm recording myself. What I do is I record what I'm going to say. So I have the video, I have all the clips up. And then I hit the record button. And then I just start talking. And I like give myself some cues while I'm talking. I'm like, all right, so we're going on to the next play, 1st and 10. And then after I get everything I want to say down, I put it in the video and then I clip everything to match the audio. I don't make the bass and then try to fit it in because I feel like that's when you sound rushed. But I think once again I went back and that shit was too long.
That probably took you forever.
No. It's easier to do that than it is for me to clip everything and go, okay, I'm going to talk about this play for 20 seconds. I'm going to talk about this play for 20 seconds. And then like try to script it out. And no. Fucking sit there and go through like I'm sitting, somebody sitting next to me. I go, all right, hey, look at this play. Da-da-da. You see this person on the right side, yada, yada. And what I can do is I can just freeze frame the clip and then drag that shorter or longer based on what I'm explaining at that current point, and then I can make it fit the audio. It feels quicker to me. I might throw some little visual cues if I had something expensive like Coach Paint, but I'm gonna have to like Photoshop.
I haven't gotten a chance to use that yet.
Damn, son, you're gonna run out of your deal.
No, the guy said he was gonna send me the he wanted to like put a watermark on all the videos, and he was gonna like send me all of that stuff to do that, and he just like never did.
Okay. But yeah, the whole point is to look at the game strategically. And for some of them, I'll admit, for some of them, I just like the Q game. I go into it and I'm just playing Q. And at the end, I'm like, all right, what did I do? And then that's my game plan points. Versus like some people, I'm actually going, okay, I got to play DeMarcus Lawrence this week, and he's the best player in the game.
Yeah.
So fuck, what am I going to do? I'm not going left. I have to protect my running back all game long. So, getting used to not throwing with the running back, or maybe play my fullback at running back and shotgun because he's a better pass. Little shit like that.
Mm-hmm. But I only do that if I feel like I know the player and their game style like really well. Otherwise, I feel like I tend to put myself in a box, and I want to execute that game plan so badly that I actually do it to a detriment and don't just take what the game is giving me
Right.
Because a lot of times the game will be like, hey, run the ball. You're getting 6-7 yards a pop. Like, keep running it. If you pass it, you're going to throw, and you don't hit the guy that's the most open. Like,
Right.
it's going to be this crazy spin around animation. It's going to be picked. Like,
So I'm gonna do a call out here, and this is less of a these guys suck and more of a I challenge you to be better kind of deal. Browns, Rob, Jets, Bacon on the Jets. He's 1-1. By extension, just based on what I've seen already, natural. These guys aren't really thinking. They're not playing football. They're trying to play Madden. And I'm seeing a lot of so yesterday, all right, so Giants-Bills played yesterday. It was a three-point game-winning field goal by Buffalo. And, dude, I'm watching Rob run the game down, okay? He's got the leader. He's trying to run it down. I think it may have even be tied or close to tied, whatever the fuck it was. It was a close-ass game. He's out here, I formation with Singletary, and this dude, Natural, is running engage 8, and it's just like, throw a fucking out.
I mean,
like throw. Like it's 4-4 engage 8. Once again, you won all the Super Bowls, so I can't say. But one of the things that he did last year was he wasn't really playing I never whenever I was playing against him, I never was thinking oh wow, he's playing really, really smart adjustive defense. He's just living with linebackers on the field. He was really living off the trajectory. So when I see him in chat and he's complaining about how the passing is, or there's no pass defense, I'm like, well, are you doing anything different? And I don't know. I can't tell him that he hasn't adjusted. I haven't watched any of his games. All I did was watch the Bills game. So, like you said, you're having some struggles with pass defense. Yeah, it is a very offensive heavy game. But if you're coming out and you're playing your Madden 19 meta, and I was talking to Mo about this. If you're playing your Madden 19 meta and you're running 4-4 as your fucking 80% defense, that's your fucking fault that you're getting thrown all over. 3-4, cover 3 sky, that shit that people used to live on because that outside linebacker that's a pass rusher could just play that purple zone and get picks. No, that shit, he gets juked by any and every route now. They give up outside leverage even though they're in a purple. They get absolutely shit on. So I'm hearing these guys go, and then I'm watching the game, and I'm watching him go engage 8. I'm like, Rob, throw a fucking slant and win the game. Throw it out, win the game. Don't he wants I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me, and I think that's why Rob won that game. If I had to go back and really pick it apart, I think it was just bad defensive choices. Obviously, the Giants are a bad roster, but the Bills aren't a good roster either. Bills are a little bit better.
I mean, you also got to remember that the Giants are being coached into a YouTube series, so. That's
another fair point, but I don't like using that excuse. For me, it's you show up and play. I don't if that's, and I'm not claiming that that's his motive, but if Cookie's doing that, if you YouTubers, the new Steelers, I mean, hey, welcome to the league, by the way. He's a big YouTuber. If you guys are coming in and you're trying to build storylines, then you better stay out of the chat. That's my thought process. When you take a loss or whatever like that, don't stay in chat arguing and getting into it about skill level, and then when you take a loss, it's I'm trying to build the brand and make it, I could be using this quarterback, but I'm using this quarterback to make nah. You took a loss, eat that loss. To his credit, he did eat the loss very well, and it's early. You could take a loss with the Giants roster.
Yeah.
Rob's a guy who knows it. That's the difference, right? Is you're not only which is why I kind of expected you to be doing a little bit better, but I think you'll figure it out. Is the guy, I think the advantage is the guys right now, either the ones that have the stud teams, the good users with stud teams, so Mole with the Browns, CEO with the Vikings. Those are my 2 top clear guys right now in the league. Mike with the Chiefs. Those are probably the 3 top advantage guys. But then I think, me, you, Rob, I think we have an inherent advantage just because we know our team so well. So we're not really having to fill out and figure out who's good, who's not good. We're just we know. We fucking know. What worked for the Ravens last year isn't going to work for the Giants this year. So I think we got to give them a little bit of a, and some of these guys that are struggling. The Jets, Bacon, he dominated last year with the Browns in the AFC. Not dominated the AFC, but he played extremely well. He's got to figure it out. Redskins as well, Z-Star. So these guys have to figure their teams out a little bit. That's why I'm worried about the Eagles. Have you seen any of the new Eagles?
No, I saw that he beat the Redskins up pretty good in week 1.
And then he had a close game, I want to say, a close win over Q Noble. It looks like he won by 8 points. So
So the guys that relied on defense like Z Star are gonna and like I saw when I played him in the first half, like I was chewing him up. Like when you are relying so much on your defense and you are relying on basically CPU to follow suit with how you're playing and how you're maintaining things and playing your gaps correctly and stuff like that, as he's a middle linebacker guy too. Like you're relying on the rest of the defense to follow in suit with how you're playing. So when they don't, and they play like a 65 overall cornerback that is out there, you're going to get chewed up in instances. So I think the guys like him are going to really struggle, because I remember him being one of the real conservative people that allowed the game to kind of fall in his lap rather than being the aggressor. And so when you're not the aggressor, if it's going to be an offensive game like this all year, then when you're not the aggressor, you're going to fall into circumstances where you're going to be losing early. But these games are long enough to where, as long as you don't dig yourself in a huge hole, you're going to have time to allow the other person to make mistakes. And that's what happened against us. I threw a couple of really awful throws that were pick sixes. And
this is why I'm gonna take a loss to him, and it's gonna be fucking embarrassing. This is why I'm not super high on Z Star, because when I was doing, remember last year I did a Super Bowl breakdown. I reviewed both of the guys' games, both the championships, and then I reviewed the Super Bowl itself. I remember watching it, and he just left so many yards on the board. Because last year, what was the meta for running backs? The spin move, right?
Yeah.
It was just spin, just fucking spin. You're gonna break. None of it. He did the same passing play where he would motion, he'd run tight flood, and then motion the go that in that tight double tight flood out, and then he would just throw the. You know what I'm saying? It's predictable passing game, and he wasn't using the metas in the run game. And I just felt like he was benefiting off of a pretty bad division that would throw a lot. Once you say he was defensive, he did have a solid defensive game. I can't fault him there. I didn't really find too many faults with his defense. I just felt like he wasn't giving me anything. I wasn't watching it going, fuck, how do you even stop that? It was just oh, well, that's the cue right there. So he wants to throw the corner. So you bring pressure on the backside and you play the corner. So now his read's gone. He runs a clear out. He's looking for the corner, which is developing. And by the time he realizes he can't throw it, he's going to take a sack. Those are the things. So I would like to see more if he expects to compete in your guys' division, especially if, he got that early win against you. I don't think he beats you again unless he changes drastically. Here's my issue with the Eagles. He has that good of an offensive line, and he's not running the ball well. Granted, he did play the Redskins, which is a very underrated front seven, and he did play the Falcons, which is a very fast front seven with Beasley and Dion and Keanu Neal. But he's really struggling to run the ball. He's given a lot of reps to – he's not giving any reps to Miles Sanders, their rookie running back. So I feel like he's kind of wasting that, and he's not throwing particularly well. So I just feel like I kind of thought he was going to have more of an advantage. Once again, the Eagles are his favorite team through and through. He's playing good defensive ball. He's forcing a lot of picks and stuff, and he's stopping the run well. He only gave up 33 rushing yards to Freeman. But I don't know if he's real. So for now, he's 2-0.
Was he the one that was getting a little bit mouthy?
I don't know. He's a nice guy. He's the dude that joined us for the UCMC podcast.
Oh, okay. Now I'm thinking of what's his name? New Bengals, right?
Oh, New Bengals. The natural, the JT approved killer. He's 2-0. He was getting out. Well, all right. So here's the thing, though, right? Niners goes up 21-7, and then Natural does what Natural does, which is he's like, Bengals is getting murdered right now, getting slapped or something. I'm like, you're in the middle of the second. It's a 14-point game. What are you talking about? I just don't know. I don't know. I don't vibe well with Natural's takes in chat. I always I can't tell you how many times I've typed a message and gone, I'm not wanting to talk to him right now because it's just going to be fucking chaos. 21-7 in the middle of the second quarter. 5 minutes left in the second, that's not a blow. And the next thing you know, Bengals battles back and gets a dub. So he was getting mouthy, I think, with good reason. You take a bad take, you can't just disappear in chat and not have anything to say. So Natural got bit in the butt there. He did beat Seattle. Who is Seattle in the league? He's 2-0, but he beat Anthony V, who was the Titans last year. Man, I'm over here looking at the chat. I need to figure out who Seattle is. Seahawks vet. Oh, you said vet. Oh, my bad, dude. I
Yeah.
thought you were saying bet, like agreeing with
Nah,
my
sorry.
point.
Bet 20. I guess.
Vet 20. I'm gonna go with I'm down. I'm down on Bengals. I don't think he's for real. I feel like playing those two users with that offense and being no better than 20, like he's 24th in passing yards, 22nd in rushing yards, and these are close grind out games. It wasn't like he put it away and didn't get the rack of stats. I feel like I need a little bit more from an offense that features John Ross and AJ Green and Joe Mixon. You feel me?
Yeah.
So John Ross got and Tyler Boyd and Tyler Eifert. Like that's a stacked offense. I feel like I need a little bit more from him. He's got 5 touchdowns, 5 picks. So I'm gonna say I'm down on him for now, but nonetheless, feel free to prove me wrong, bro. And I absolutely advocate you getting saucy with Natural in chat after he said you were getting slapped. Like, don't listen to that noise in the chat. Q, let's talk about Q, bro. Q took me down to the wire, man. It was he was driving. He was in my red zone, 21-14. I bait him into throwing to Hunter Henry, and I hit him in the air, and it knocks the ball up. I get a pick, and I return it 109 yards. It was crazy, crazy play. Wow. I will say, like, I did bait it. Like, you know, like I didn't, like, intentionally leave Hunter Henry open or unintentionally leave him open. Like, I knew that was his read, and then I just hit or X, sorry, and then it popped the ball up. Like, that's kind of the big thing here is just getting those tip ball interceptions. So I kind of knew it was going. He ran the ball extremely well. He's patient. He didn't throw another pick outside of that, I believe. And he's got a good defense. But he's playing Bosa at D tackle. Yeah, dude, I didn't, Bosa's getting 36 sacks plus in every league that I play in. But moving him to D tackle, and his justification, he told me was, he was like, oh, well, I'm getting more one-on-one matchups with the center. Like, dude, you're getting double teamed. Like,
yeah, no, they don't like interior pressure doesn't typically, happen in this game. Like, I'll always look my right guard, no matter who they are, will give up 0 sacks like all year long, while my right tackle will give up 14.
Yeah, and I'm gonna check in on Bosa here and see where he's at sack wise because he's got 5 in 2 weeks.
That's pretty good.
I think I may have given him 1, but I wasn't. Here's the thing, though, right? That stretch game. Like, I'm a running team. I'm coming out. I'm trying to run the football, and you're putting. Now, I think I know why. He has Nwosu, who's another pass rusher, and he probably needs room. He needs room for him in the roster. So he's probably moves Bosa inside, and Nwosu outside. But I'm just going to keep running stretch, and Bosa's going to be completely eliminated from the game. So I feel like
what he needs to do is get himself a hybrid defensive scheme playbook. Right. And go in and set the formation subs and get himself running a 3-4 and a 4-3 base, and he can put those pass rushers in positions to still rush the passer. He can have Bosa play a little bit more inside because Bosa could play defensive end in a 3-4. I wouldn't.
He's 280 pounds. He can't play 3-4.
He's strong. He's strong.
He can't play 3-4 nose. He can't play 3-4
no. And he could probably play dime defensive tackle if you've got the extra pass rushers to him and stuff. But
yeah, when he's passing.
Yeah, I wouldn't just have him out there though, because you're going to find yourself in situations where you could have benefited from that outside edge rush instead of the inside, and you don't know based on who. I like to have the different looks so that I can give people different looks and kind of feel out in game. It gives me the opportunity to have 2 different defensive game plans basically going in to adjust accordingly based on what the other person's doing, what they're throwing at me, stuff like that. Like, I have a 3-4 that I typically will just try and defend the pass in. I have a 3-4 that I try and just defend the run in. I have a 3-4 that is kind of balanced and can do both. And I try to create the formation subs to match both of those situations.
Right.
But
and here's the last point. Here's my last point is one of his traits is edge threat. So you're eliminating the whole concept of that trait.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a special trait that makes him win more in those scenarios, and you're not using it because you got him off the center. And from what I was told by the Madden folks, the EA folks, is that just means if you're latched up against a tackle, that's the edge. That's what you should consider.
Yeah. Speaking of edge rush, let's close it up with this because I'm sure we're way over a half hour by now. What is the counter to these guys that shift all these people around and bring guys right up to the line. Like, I can't get a blitz to work to save my life, and yet other dudes like the natural will bring up guys, and they're doing it to where like they're confusing like my 98 overall left tackle every single play that they blitz on, and he's not picking up the outside guy and he's picking up the inside guy. What do I need to do to
Okay. All right. So, all right. So this is what I do, because right now the meta is cover zero. The meta is blitzing the fuck out of people, especially if the quarterback doesn't have escape artists, because that's like the big thing, right? Is mobility. One, you got to make sure you're pass protecting. Remember the and I know you may know some of this, so I'm just kind of saying it for the sake of it. If you don't know it, cool. If you do know it, cool. All right, double team obviously means an offensive line double team. You got to be careful if you're blitzing, because now you might put yourself a man down. Obviously, there's max protect to keep the running back in. If you hit the user or the mic, whoever you identify as the mic is who you should be thinking, not as the mic, the middle linebacker of the defense. You need to be thinking is, if I think this player's blitzing, he's the mic. Like, that's what the whole function should be. And that's telling your running back to pick him up. Or if not your running back, if your running back's not going, you're telling your free offensive lineman in a 5 versus 4 scenario that that's the player we need to look out for. So I need a mic means I need a blitzer. Think of it like that. I need a blitzer. Double team if you need to, if you don't feel a blitz is coming. Let's see. And then if you feel like you have man, zig routes. Zig routes work well. Out routes work well, slant routes work well, and then trust it. You know what I'm saying? I think the big thing is like we're just. I think one of the biggest learning curves is just we're waiting until we see things open, because we're so used to like linebackers jumping up.
That's always been my thing, and
it's like snagging everything. Like,
not working for me this year. The trusting it is not working, or I've already lost trust in it maybe. But like that's always been my thing, is I'm throwing because I think that you should be open by the time this ball gets there. Mm-hmm. But it feels like with the trajectories it's a little bit more hit or miss. Like, if you don't nail the timing and the trajectory, like the trajectories are not matching up as much as they used to with the timing of passes. Like, you can't, like, the bullets aren't getting in that window for slants. Like, I love a slant. Like, I will hit you with a slant on almost every single play if necessary. Like, in a part of the play or whatever will be a slant just as an option, but they are consistently not open, or like the window is not big enough to actually bullet it in. You know what I mean?
Right. I think you're gonna have to lab, and we're just gonna have to, and hit me up, bro. We can play. We can see. Get in the lab. Make sure, and that's a big thing for everybody. It's just like, don't expect to show up to your league games and just play and win. Like, if you're not constantly labbing and learning shit, then you're not gonna and play with people. You know what I'm saying? Once again, hit people up, be like, hey, can I play? And then what am I doing wrong? We talk about all the time on the pod. We give away a ton of the secrets. Not all of them. We're giving away a ton of our secrets. So, all right. I think that was a little fair run through of some of the guys, real or not real. I think that Q is I think he's for real because of the offense and because of the division, but I don't think he's a for real playoff contender. But you're right. We are past our 30-minute marker, but at least we covered some shit, right? Instead of we started out with pickles, so sorry for the guys. Well, thanks for listening.
Right into it after that, though. So
I think
as pickles, you weren't here for the real thing.
Right. I think I think if we can get these short and sweet like we have, I think we'll be all right. I cut down a lot of my leagues, and so I got a little bit more time. So let's knock these out. Thanks for coming on. Premier Madden Podcast, PremierMaddenLeague.com. Go join PremierMaddenLeague.com. We have a wait list. We have a tournament server. I don't know how often that's going to be going, but if you want to prove that you got what's XP in the league, that's the place to be. Reach out to JT via the website. So that's it for this week's episode. We will catch you all next time.